All right, joining us for part 2 of the podcast, current Golden State Warrior, 10-year NBA vet, Gary Payton II. Gary, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. That sounds crazy that you said it out loud. 10 years is crazy. That's wild. That's crazy. But I'm doing good, fellas. How y'all doing?
Doing all right. Happy to have you here. Excited to talk some hoops and other things with you. So I guess just to start, you are fresh off of a career high 8 assists, 9 points, 8 dimes, 6 boards in a win. But I wanted to ask, what is your first basketball memory?
That's tough. That's tough. Definitely, I probably couldn't tell you the first one, but I know it's in Seattle somewhere, running around KeyArena. Just messing around, going to practices with my dad, going to the games early, messing around with the opposing team's players, pregame, whatnot. So a lot of that has to do with Seattle and just, being in the city and being around, Sonics, Supersonics, and doing things with him within that. So, a lot of good memories when I was young in Seattle.
That makes sense. I guess with basketball being that heavy of a background for you, were there any other sports that kind of captured your attention early on, or was it just basketball for you?
No, football. I liked football a lot. Dabbled with baseball a little bit and soccer, but just going through the process, my dad being who he was, and just growing up with that shadow, I actually wanted to get away from the game, just to kill the comparisons and whatnot, and just carve out my own identity and journey. I actually played water polo in Seattle for a season, so that was different. But I turned out to like water polo. It was a very physical sport, but it was different.
Well, I got to ask, what was your favorite part about water polo? Because that looks incredibly difficult.
No, it was. I had to learn how to tread water. So once I learned how to tread water and move with the treading, it got pretty fun. You can, like I said, it's pretty physical. So, you can pull, you can stretch, you can pull them under the water and try to get to what you got to do. So I like the physical part of that. That was probably the best fun part.
I would have imagined football, just with the way that you defend and the way you're able to halt things in the passing lanes. Like it just gives like corner or safety for me. Water polo.
Yes, absolutely. Corner and safety. They had me at outside linebacker sometimes when I was young. This was when I was young. And I was kind of taller and bigger than everybody, but for sure, corner and safety. And then on the offensive side, running back and wide receiver for sure.
That tracks. I would not have had water polo on the bingo card, but that is awesome.
That one's a little doozy. That was just I don't even know how that happened, to be honest. I think my mom was just like, let's try something new. And, she came, I don't know how she came up with water polo, but that was the first time that I was introduced to water polo, which was different.
Got you. I was reading a profile on you from a few years ago. I think Mark Spears did it. He was talking about some of the contracts that you apparently had to sign, promising that you would finish out a year of sports if you committed to it.
From my mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably right. I don't remember signing anything, but I'm sure that's what she had that in place for sure. That for all of us, if we decided to do something, because I'm sure we was jumping around quite a few, So I'm sure that was true for sure. That we had to finish out a sport that we committed to for sure.
I was like, ooh, that's a new one to kind of make sure that commitment is there. But okay.
No, absolutely. She knew what she was doing.
To the Warriors of it all very quickly. It is a unique style of play on both ends for Golden State, or at least during that era since you've been there. How much time did it take for you to kind of acclimate to how they want to do things on both ends of the floor?
I'd say my first 10 days. It was pretty simple. I had already had an idea once, I got the call from the Warriors. I was already thinking basketball before I was with the Warriors, just like watching them. It's really simple if you think about it and you understand the game. At the time we had the two best shooters, possibly might be the two best shooters that the game's ever seen. And, my style of play was being a defender. It was easy. Get a stop, get one of them the ball, get them open, get them open so they can get a good look. And it was just like, there's nothing really much to it, and having Draymond in that spot to facilitate and use those guys, coming off screens, and how much attention they demand is easy. I learned how to set screens when I was the JUCO in high school. I had to play big, so I had to learn how to set screens and play the dunker spot early. So once I got with the best, it was easy. Set a screen for them. Two people go, slip, Draymond can, facilitate and hit. And, from there, it was just like we were winning games. So I was like, oh, this is easy. This is the formula.
Oh, see, that takes a question off the table for me, because I really wanted to get into the screening of it all with you. Because I think we are seeing more inverted actions across the league over the past few years, really. Mm-hmm. And so what has always stood out to me with you in particular is not just you being used as a screener for Steph or for Clay. The fact that you actually hit people before getting out of there, it seems pretty rare for actual guards to want to get in to have that dirty work. So I want to know where that background came from, but you already mentioned kind of the JUCO.
That's the fun part, the physicality, and actually get to go and hit somebody. The game is getting softer by the year, and they don't allow you to make that contact and have a lot of contact. So just growing up, fighting with my brothers, fighting with my cousins, football, like I said, soccer is just the physicality of it is what I like. And if you hit somebody and you set a good screen on somebody, you most likely gonna get yourself open. So that's how I had to learn, and that's how I had to get my offense going when I was younger. So me learning early, to actually hit somebody to open up, for your teammate and essentially for yourself, that was my way to stay on the court. So, I just added that to my game.
I do have a question, because not only is the screening there, but also you mix in the slips. How long did it take you to kind of just know the difference or win, or did you just base it off how the defense was covering?
It's definitely Wardell. Okay, you gotta stay attached to Wardell. So if I can clip Wardell's guy just a little bit, my guy is gonna naturally assume that his guy's behind and Steph's open. And we all know what happens if you think Steph's open. So they both jump out, and I'm 95% of the time I'm gonna be by myself naked on the slip. So he creates 30 points for himself. He creates 30 for others. So the more times I can get with him and get into actions is, more opportunities for him and also more opportunities for me.
Just to quickly bounce off of that, because there was like a 2-play sequence I wanted to ask you about from the Utah game. It was early in that first quarter.
I think I know what you talking with. Early in the quarter or late? The one, which one? Where you hit me and we hand back and he came back off the screen?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's just a little counter to if I set the first one and I hit the pocket and I go downhill, and they seem to we've done that a couple of times. We'll just throw a little hitch in there to get him an extra look and hit me and come right back off the screen. I'll just drop it off and hit his guy one more time, and other than that they'll probably jump or they're behind, so they automatically gon' seem the worst and he's pulling up. So it's just another little glitch to get him an extra shot.
Yeah, they look defeated after that one. It's like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, you just can't relax with him. Once he gets the ball off, I think he's more dangerous without the ball than he is with the ball. Just because his conditioning and his pace, and he reads the game and the floor. Like, you got to chase him, and if you get behind, like, somebody else is got to help you, and that's just him pulling the gravity of the court into the game, and he opens up a lot more for everybody else.
Okay, I was just to zoom out a little bit. You seem surprised when I mentioned you're a 10-year vet now in the NBA. I wanted to ask, there are a lot of young guards and wings in that Warriors room now. Are you taking anyone under your wing, rather?
It's just collectively, all the young guys try to add, that dunker spot. I'm trying to get Will, BP, and those young guys to understand the importance of, being able to play the dunker. just to be able to add another piece to the game, that you can have, that you can stay on the floor, and that, the coaching staff trusts you being in that spot and, just making right plays, reading the play and playing behind the defense. I play behind the defenses where I get a lot of my open looks, open layups. And I try to tell them that, it's way easier, it's way convenient for yourself to play behind the dunker and get behind the defense and, move around and be an outlet for those drivers and those playmakers like Steph and Jimmy. It's just another outlet, another, safety net for us to have.
Well, I'd add real quick, how important is it, because the league has changed over time, how important is it for vets to be in those locker rooms and be able to pass down some of their wisdom and knowledge to the younger guards?
It's huge, like I said, you guys know there's guys that's been in the league for a while, and towards the end of their career, they're still there, and guys be wondering why they're still there. Is because of that reason in the locker room, to teach them, to guide them, and just to walk through, and it's so useful to have them in practice, on trips, and to give to the next generation that's coming up, and know that they gonna be taking over the league soon, just to show them tricks and trades of the league. And also the young guys is showing some of the vets the new tricks and trade, because it is getting younger and younger, so it goes both ways. But once the young guys figure it out, they add their little twist to it. But the vets are a staple, and pillars for organizations like that to be able to come in and have championship pedigree and championship mindset, and knows what it does and knows what it takes to win.
Got you. I think just to shift to the defensive side of the ball very quickly, you have made your name as a high-level defender in this league, kind of how you earned your place in. It's interesting hearing some of the conversations around NBA defense. I don't think people really understand how hard it is to guard in this era of NBA basketball. I guess for you, what are some misconceptions or maybe things that you may hear from the outside that you wish people understood? Like, no, we are trying to do X, Y, Z. It's just really tough right now.
No, it is, and that goes back to the game is changing. The league is starting to be less handsy. From coming from the '90s, which I wish I would have played in the '90s, and it would have been on and cracking and fun every night, going up, battling, fighting in there, and just scrapping. But the league has changed, for many reasons, and it's hard. It's just like being a corner. You got to mirror somebody, all up and down the court. Okay, you can't touch them, so it's just like you're already at a disadvantage. So you got to find ways, and you got to play team defense. You got to have an extra guy helping, just because of how the league is changing. Just handsy. There's a lot of guys getting calls now. A lot of offensive guys, how to manipulate the game and the refs, how to get calls and whatnot. So as a defender, it's every year we're adjusting. To the new calls, to the new style of play, to what the refs are in the league is emphasizing on the offensive side. So, the biggest thing I can say is just like being a corner. Just imagine if you're a corner and you had to, guard Megatron or something, and you can't put your hands on him. So what you think gonna happen most of the time? He gonna win most of those battles for sure. Okay. So, it's just, there's nothing really to argue about or whatever. It's just like, bro, we're trying to do the best we can with what we are given, and sometimes, and me, I'm going to push the envelope and push the button for sure. I might get one or two quick ones, but that's how the defenders adjust, see what we can get away with and see what we can and adjust from there.
And I was just going to ask real quick, how important is that team defense? Because I don't think people realize how much y'all have to defend these days early in the shot clock. 1, 2, 3 actions early throughout the league. It's not just one or two teams. So how do you navigate that throughout a game? How important is that?
That's huge. And now the new gen and the new style of play is everybody's running up and down. You got a whole bunch of young kids in here that just run. You got Giannis coming downhill, Ja coming downhill with force, and it ain't gonna be just one person that's gonna be able to stop them. So you definitely got to load up, show bodies. Just make them get it out their hands and make other people, make plays. but it's definitely a team defense. It's definitely team defense more than ever now in the league. I think so. Just being on the string and communicating is huge. But just to show bodies and to load up and just make it difficult, I think that's what you got to do nowadays.
I got you. I guess a couple of quick ones for me just on that end. When you're heading into a matchup, or what are some matchups that get you particularly excited? Like, I have to guard this player here. I really got to make sure I'm breaking my A game in this one.
Dog, it's starting to get every night now. There's a lot of teams, especially in the West. We see somebody every day in the West for sure. So it's just exciting. One day it might be, Ja. Next day, like yesterday, it might be marketing. So, I just got to switch on. It might be, big fella. I might be guarding the five, tomorrow. I don't know. Whatever the coaching staff needs me to do, I'm available, and just playing off what they like to do. Just try to take away something they like to do. Some guys is just heavy post work like Jimmy do, and I play 1-on-1 with Jimmy, so he helps a lot when I got to have those type of matchups. Whereas it's going to be 1-on-1 base game kind of, and then there's nights like yesterday where we got to load up on marketing, and everybody helps me out by being in the right spot and not letting him get easy looks.
Got you. And I guess last thing for me, just to shift gears a little bit, as you are here representing the SBA. And a little bit
Yes,
of
absolutely. Yeah, shout out to SBA, Royce Campbell, Sheldon Lewis, have announced the skateboarding league SBA, and they gave me opportunity to come be a part of that and join that. And but them two they do all the heavy work. I'm just blessed to be able to help out and do everything I can. But they brought it to me, and I was like, growing up, I have friends and stuff that skate and whatnot. I skated a little bit, but not nearly to this point where I can actually go out there and compete. But just for the love of the game, I mean, for the love of the culture in the skate world, playing skate, growing up at Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I think we've all played Tony Hawk. So you
there
feel
it
me?
is.
So it's just like it hits different, and I'm sure this wasn't the first thought of like, why isn't there a skateboard league? It was it's just sitting out there on the ground. Nobody picks it up and try to do something. So they came to me and was like, "Yo, we trying to start a skateboard league." I was like, "Absolutely, whatever I can do and be a part of to help that." It's been great in the last few years. Done a lot of hard work, a lot of long nights, meetings after meetings after meetings after pitches, just trying to get this thing off the ground. And we finally did it this summer, getting off the ground, announcing in Big Bear, our upcoming season in combine and draft, which is excited. First co-ed league, professional league for men and women, equal pay. So, to be able to do that and start something. So I don't even know what the word to use is. It's like unique, but it's just like it's overdue. It's way overdue, and it should have been here years ago. But I'm thankful and blessed to be a part of this with them, and to start this and create something for the skate culture.
I love that. Okay, last official one from me. What was your favorite Tony Hawk game?
Oh, Project 8, for sure. Tony
Okay.
Hawk Project 8. Oh, what? Project 8 was live. I'm talking about live. You got to build up. You got to work. You got to make clips to get the sponsorships. And then once you get, good enough, you get to pick, where you want to go. I think I chose Girl Company.
Okay.
So that one was, I loved. Project 8 was probably my favorite for sure.
Okay. I love the way you lit up on that one. Hey,
yeah. Project 8, I wish they remastered Project 8 because they did remaster 1 and 2 and 3, I think. I downloaded that, but Project 8 it just hit different. I don't know, just for me, it was just the way they put it together and the way that you can choose where you wanted to go and, go to spots and make clips. It was different at the time.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I need to see if they remade Underground. That was probably my one. But either
No,
way.
they did. They
Oh,
remade Underground 1 and 2. They just remastered
okay.
it not too long ago.
I got to tap in.
Yeah,
That's all
you
I
got
need.
to.
That's all I need to hear.
And you know they got Skate. So Skate's the new Gen 1. Skate's is Skate. Skate's fire. Yeah, Skate's fire. But the classics is the classics.
Understood. Well, Gary, thank you again for rocking with us, tapping in, spending a little bit of your time. We really appreciate you.
No, I appreciate y'all. The Dunker Spot. That's a hell of a name right there. That's a hell of. I like that a lot.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
That Dunker. Yeah. Stay in that Dunker Spot. Yeah. Absolutely. I appreciate you, fellas.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.